Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Papa Ling Physics Classroom. Okay, today we'll be looking at SLS, primarily two tools that I often use in SLS. Okay, the first tool will be to generate a batch number of questions. Example, if I want to generate 5 questions at one go, how do I generate these 5 questions at one shot? The other tool that I'm looking at is to use SFA. How do I enable SFA function inside this question here? All right, now without delaying, let's look at how we do this. Once you are at your SLS, this is the common platform that we are familiar with. Okay, to create a batch question, for example, let's say if I want to create 8 questions for this tutorial. Okay, first what I'll do is I'll go to the create/edit button here, the blue color button. So once you click on it, you will arrive at this platform. You can either select activities or quiz, whichever you need. Okay, so for these tutorial purposes, I will look at how to generate a batch, let's say 5 questions for this particular quiz. Okay, now once you click on the quiz button, this is where you'll be brought to. Okay, so as usual, I will edit the title. So let's say this is a trial quiz. At this point, what we always do is we always press the plus button. Okay, then after that, that's where we generate one question at each go lah. So now what this tutorial will be about is to actually teach you how to show you how I generate maybe 5 questions at one shot. Okay, so this is how we do it. Now click on the plus button here. You will enter this landing page. The button that you need to take note is the orange color button. Either it's on the left or it's on the right. The orange button on SLS usually, if I'm not wrong, it usually symbolizes some automation or some AI involved. So what I will do is I'll click on the generate button. Now, once you hit the generate button, this is the page that you need to take note. Usually what most of us will do, we will just go on to select the question type, the subject type, and even the SIO, or what we call the success criteria. Then after that, we click on the create button here. Now, if you do this, you will find that you are only able to generate 1 question. So if you need to generate 5 questions, you need to do this 5 times. So what we are doing here is let's try to generate 5 questions at one shot. So for example, so the main criteria is this question here. Now, number of components under the SLS platform here, I take it that number of components here actually refer to number of questions. So if you put 1 here, means the platform will actually generate 1 question for you. So what you do is let's generate 5 questions. Okay, so now once I create the 5 component, okay, I select 5 here, means I will actually be asking the platform to actually generate 5 questions. Component type, okay, there are various types of components, but if you are using short answer feedback, SFA, okay, currently SFA is only available at free response. So if you want to use SFA, you will have to select free response. Okay, so I select free response. Now under the subject type, okay, under subject type depends on your CS. Okay, so for me, I'm doing physics, so I would choose maybe G3 physics. Okay, then for me, I'm looking at Sec 3 and Sec 4. So for me, I would choose Sec 4 Express. If you have other subjects that you want to pull together, maybe for this particular quiz, it involves G3 physics and maybe G2 physics. So what we do is you press the add subjects and level, then you will add another subject. If you only have 1 like me now, so you only have 1 subject and 1 level, you can actually move on to content map and topic. This particular section here will tell the platform what are the topics that you are going to choose, what are the SIO that will be included in this particular test, in this particular quiz. So under content map, okay, you click on content map, you will have these other options. First, select the content map. I'm doing Sec 3 G3 physics, so let's say I will choose a G3 physics. Let's say I will use particular SOW here, upper Sec physics 2023. Once you click on it, the topics or the themes or the SIO, it will be generated. All these SIO are actually pre-generated in the background, okay, by the platform itself.
Nice.
So for example, if I'm looking at creating a quiz for thermal physics, okay, particularly maybe thermal processes, I click on thermal processes, you'll find that the various SIO that is linked to the textbooks or even the SOW are actually created here. So what you need to do is maybe I want to create a quiz on radiation. Okay, I want to create a quiz on how the kids how I want to test whether the kids know how to apply conduct combat radiation. The example, I'll click here. Okay, maybe I will look at how the quiz will test the students whether he or she knows about convection. So I will click here. If you have multiple topics, by all means, go and select other topics. Let's say I also want this quiz to test topics on electricity. So maybe on drawing simple circuit diagrams, or maybe calculating current at a certain point. I'll click this. So once you have check all the relevant boxes, this is to tell the system that this is the topics or the scope of test assessment that you want the quiz to revolve around. Now, once you are done, okay, the last segment here. So, just take note, if you have other topics, for example, if you have, you want to combine physics maybe with other relevant topic, you can click on content map to activate another topic, okay? So if you want this to be maybe test other than Set 4 stuff, you want to test Set 3 stuff, you can click on content map also, no problem. The additional detail here is to tell the authoring copilot what could be some other instructions or maybe some of the constraints that you might want. So maybe I'm looking at in the first, just a reminder, okay, under the component type, I've asked the platform to actually create 5 questions. Component here actually loosely, I will take it as 5 questions, okay? Number of components, aka means number of questions. So I created 5 questions. So what I want to do is maybe I will tell the copilot saying that maybe the question 1 to 3, okay, is about thermophysics. Then the rest of the questions is about electricity. Okay, these are some small criteria that you will want to tell the platform. He will generate the questions accordingly. Because without these additional instructions, you will find that the AI itself, the platform itself will actually generate questions based on their own criteria. So for example, because I have chosen 2 topics, maybe end up 2 topics for 5 questions, but maybe end up the platform itself will only generate 4 questions on thermophysics, but only 1 question on electricity. So if you have other like requirements or maybe other style that you want to take note, you may want to write the instructions here telling the copilot what you want or what you expect. Now, knowledge base is actually to tell the copilot what are the additional references, what are the material that you may want him to refer to or want the AI to refer to, so you can add in here inside here also. Knowledge base, in this particular video, we will not go through it in details. Okay, there will be other videos online or even the SLS website itself, or they will touch on knowledge base. So for today, I will skip knowledge base. Now, once you are done with this, okay, so basically you are almost done with, you are 99% done with creating the quiz already. So what you're going to do is you are going to press the create button here. Okay, then once you press, the platform will start to generate the questions according to your requirements. So here we go. So you see the cat. Okay, once you see the cat running, it means the SLS is actually working very hard. Okay, let's take a look. Here. Now, once you have this page, it usually means the question has been generated. You take a look, 5 items generated. Remember, we asked for 5 components or what we call 5 questions. So let's do a simple check. 1 question here, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 questions here. So usually what I would do is I will actually check on the question to see whether I want this question or not. If you don't want this particular question, let's say this is like, you find that it's a bit, or you might find it's a bit redundant or repetitive, you will uncheck it so that you will not add inside your quiz itself. But for this tutorial, let's say okay, let's say all the questions are relevant. So what I do is I will just click on add button to add all the quiz inside. Ta-da! See? Now you have all the 5 quiz created at one go, okay, on the relevant topics that you have. So the first 3 questions is on thermal. The last 4 questions, you take a look, the last 2 questions, you will be on electricity. So true enough, okay, based on your instructions, okay, the SLS actually created the questions, okay, 3 questions on heat and 2 questions on electricity. Now, once you have generated the 5 questions, that's the first tool, okay, how to generate batch question in batches. So you don't need to click 5 times, okay, just click 1 time, you generate all the 5 questions. Now, for the second tool is how do I activate SFA, Short Answer Feedback Assistant. Now, Short Answer Feedback Assistant is a tool that I use very often because whenever the students do the quizzes, they write the answers, the SLS mark, where they will not want to know, they actually want to know what are the feedback. And where are the mistakes that they make. And that is where short answer feedback actually come in. The system will actually, based on the answers generated and based on the students' feedback, based on the students' answer, they will generate relevant feedback to tell the students which area the kids should improve or which area the kids should actually take note, which is actually quite useful. So now let's take a look at how do we activate this particular function. Now, let's look at question 1. Okay, question 1, the answer is given here. Now, to activate short answer feedback assistant, I will click on the feedback button. You either click on the feedback button or you can click on the pencil mark button. Okay, both works. So let's click on the feedback button. Now you'll be at this landing page. Okay, so what you do is you click on the feedback assistant. Okay, so there'll be two feedback assistants. Usually I only use one. Okay, so I will choose the short answer feedback assistant. Okay, so when I click, second feedback assistance, usually I leave it as optional. I never usually use two. I just use short answer feedback assistance. Now leniency, just take note. Okay, if you hover around the information button here, you'll find that it says that if I set low, the result will be more focused and deterministic. AKA, if you are setting it to a low, leniency low, what does it mean? It means that the AI, the platform itself, will mark it stricter. If you park under high, okay, you will find that the platform will actually mark slightly more lenient. Okay, so it depends on like which preferences you are. By default, is actually set to medium. Okay, so just take note of it. Allow fast submissions is the same as all SLS tool. Okay, if you need the students to attach file, you have to activate this particular function. Now, other than that, okay, once you have done it, you are done. You auto-save, then you can move on to the second question. Second question, the same thing. Okay, you have to click on the feedback button. One of the bad news that I have is that we have a batch function to create like 5 or 6 questions in series. But to activate SFA function, you have to do it one by one. So if I have 5 questions which I want to use feedback assistance, I will have to click it 5 times. Okay, so I repeat what I do for question 1. Check on feedback assistant. Feedback assistant 1, I choose short answer feedback. Leniency, if I want low, I will just leave it as low. If I need fast submission, I will click on the allow fast submission. Done. So that's for one question. So what I do is I will do it for the third question and fourth question and fifth question and so on and so forth. Once you are done, click on the tick button here. Okay, you are done. Okay, so let's say, okay, so I'm done with the first 2 questions. So first 2 questions, remember, I've actually activated short answer feedback assistant. So now let's take a look. Okay, so before I send out to students, usually I will do a trial myself. So what I do is I will preview as students mode. Okay, once you preview as student mode, okay, you are actually a student now. So okay, so I will try the quiz myself. Okay, remember, I have activated short answer feedback system for the first 2 questions. Say I'm the students, I will look at hot rice, cosing. Okay, so this is my answer. Okay, so I'll submit the answer. Okay, I'll submit. Okay, once I submitted, okay, you'll find that, okay, the answer is here. Okay, so how have I scored? Okay, the marks is here. Oh, I scored 2 marks, I scored 0. Why? What happened? Okay, so this is whereby the students will click on feedback to see where he or she has gone wrong. Okay, take a look. This is the feedback system generated automatically by the system itself. Okay, so he will say that he mentioned that what I written. Okay, he even give positive encouragement. Okay, but then he will tell you what have I missed out or which area should I be looking at.
Nice.
And true enough, it is one of the feedback is actually very useful, because when in class, when I teach convection current, I also emphasize on the fact that the density change in your explanation is the student have to highlight. So it's like what they mentioned. Okay, the convection current deal with less dense liquid, colder, denser liquid, all these things. So it does tell the kids where to look out for and what to look out for. And these feedback actually are quite useful. And the best thing is it's generated automatically. And the accuracy actually is quite high. So the feedback that students get is actually quite relevant, actually quite important. Okay, so same thing for the second questions, I have activated also. So let's say I type some answer here, then I submit. Okay, same thing. The answer will be here. And what is the feedback? Okay, see, here we go. Okay, the feedback is here. Okay, so now because I don't know, so based on the feedback, the AI or the platform behind you will give me some feedback, and this feedback I can use it to actually enhance on my revisions to take note of where I have actually gone wrong. Okay, once you are done, okay, you find that there's no problem. Okay, you can close it. Then after that, you can actually assign it to the student itself. You may want to take note is that when you are creating the questions, the suggested answer, there are certain ways to write the suggested answer. For example, the bracket here will represent the marks. In SLS, the square bracket will actually represent the keywords. Okay, so there are certain formats that we need to adhere to it when we typing the answers. Okay, for the particular format itself, the SLS website actually has a website or even have a PDF file to tell you what to take out, what to look out for when you are actually writing the answer. I will leave it in my link below there. In my link to link you to the PDF, which will tell you how to actually craft your answers in a manner that the SLS will actually understand. Okay, so just to take note, okay, for those who are doing quiz, just do take note, the platform itself will have a certain way of writing the answers. Okay, so you need, when you craft your answer, okay, remember, okay, when you craft your answer in SLS, okay, you need to craft in a certain manner that the AI or the platform understand. So there are certain format. Okay, I'll put the link, the PDF link in my description bar below. So you take a look, okay, if you're not familiar or you want to have a quick refresher. Okay, so with this, okay, I've come to the end of this particular tutorial. I do hope that after looking at this particular tutorial or this video, you actually realize that you can actually create a batch question. Okay, you can create the questions like maybe 5 or 6 or 7 questions. If I'm not wrong, the maximum is 20. Where usually I don't create so much. So usually maybe at one shot, I will create 8 questions. Okay, I can create 8 questions just by clicking one time instead of clicking 8 times. Okay, then after that, the other one I hope you will understand is that the function of short answer feedback system. Okay, the use of short answer feedback system it really helped me a lot when I assign SLS questions to my students. Okay, the feedback are actually quite constructive and the best thing is it's generated automatically. Okay, and the quality of the feedback is actually very good. So I hope that you can actually use it more often and get yourself familiarized with the function. Okay, if anything, okay, if any questions or any feedback you want to let me know, okay, leave it in the comment below. Okay, so that I'll get back to you ASAP. Okay, without further delay, that's all. Okay, bye bye, everybody.